All right. It is Sunday night. We have a full boat. I can't even remember the last time we had a full crew together on a Sunday night, but it is here. By the way, it is Bob the Fish's birthday. The defending Super Bowl champions started their title defense. Tim Tebow and Jameis Winston are trying out for new jobs. The Rays, well, they continue their up and down ways, but the field of dreams comes to life in yet another no-no in Major League Baseball. By the way, China has their own version of how the Olympics ended, and it kind of goes with you can't fix stupid. It's Sunday night. It's 7 p.m. The Chief took a nap. Pooh Bear and I are hungry, but most importantly, this is the main event. What is up?
What's going on?
I did take a nap, man. It was a solid nap today, man.
It was a solid nap.
Yeah.
What did we have? Was there some sort of memo that came out that said everybody should wear navy blue?
Oh, I'm wearing black. Crap. I missed it. I'm sorry.
You're fired.
Fired.
Happens.
You're fired. Well, gentlemen, we got our first look at the defending Super Bowl champions last night.
Ooh.
What were your thoughts?
Well, in between electrical repairs, let's make that clear.
There were some. We tried to get some electrical repairs done. I figured it out on my own. By the way, I'm much more of an electrician than Pooh Bear.
You're darn right. I know enough to be dangerous, and so I know my limits, and I back away. You're darn right. So yeah, it was an interesting game. You know, I think Chief in the green room pointed out it looked like a preseason game.
Yeah.
Just not
looked
a whole
like
lot.
A preseason game. You know, Kyle Trask looked exactly like he was supposed to look. He's a rookie quarterback with a big arm, and that's what he looked like. A lot of upside to this guy. I'm still excited that we drafted him in the second round, but, you know, this is why you don't draft a quarterback. I don't care who it is. You don't draft him and start him the first year. You know, there's a huge learning curve in the NFL, and, you know, I am under no ideas or misconceptions that Kyle Trask would even be the number 2 quarterback this year. You know, I'm glad that he has, you know, guys to sit back and look behind, you know, but I really feel like the battle for the number 2 spot between Blaine Gabbert and Ryan Griffin with that, you know, when you're playing a 43-year-old starting quarterback, I don't care who he is, that number 2 guy better be solid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
yeah, I think without question, Blaine Gabbert is your number 2.
He's got to be.
I agree.
Some of his passes were high, but at least they weren't interceptions. I mean, he wasn't throwing into obvious traffic.
I'm saying from the standpoint if he's the only one that's got any NFL experience.
Well,
right.
true.
I mean, Ryan Griffin has none or very little. He doesn't have enough that, you know, he doesn't even if he has some, he doesn't have enough that any of us really have anything to say about that. Right. But I think Blaine Gabbert, he has started in the NFL. He's been an NFL quarterback. If something were to happen to our boy, the GOAT, then I think that guy steps in, and you have to put Kyle Trask on the roster because you just spent a second-round pick on him.
Yeah, I still believe Kyle Trask is the future of this franchise. I mean, his arm, did you see that? I think it was the second play from scrimmage. I mean,
yes.
he heaved that thing like 60, 70 yards. I mean,
Mike Evans hauls that in, by the way.
Right.
Well, he probably Mike Evans might haul it in.
And that's what Coach said. He said he was a little disappointed in his receivers not bringing in some of those throws that Trask made. He says those should have been caught. So it wasn't quite as bad as it looked, but like you said, you know, it looks like he was supposed to look. A big arm as a rookie, right? But Coach did say that.
Yeah, I was definitely interested, like you, Chief, in seeing Trask play last night. I was disappointed that he played at the end of the game. I would have liked to have seen him more with at least the second team. I joked around with you guys before, like that guy scrambled more than Mahomes did in the Super Bowl. Like they were chasing him all night. I don't know how many times he actually got to plant his feet and chuck one.
He had no protection.
We do have some backup guys that are out, so our depth is also, thin right now for the offensive line.
And speaking of no protection, what is up with Tristan Wirfs letting somebody touch Tom Brady on play 3 or play 4?
The crazy thing about that is only one time did somebody get past Tristan. I think he gave up one sack last
year. Yeah,
and he just gave up one in the preseason.
I'm like, what?
It's preseason for everybody. The defensive line, it was preseason for those guys.
Yeah, but it's Tom Brady.
I know.
He should be wearing the red jersey.
He shouldn't have been in there.
He needed to be in there. He just needed to. So the difference between Kyle Trask, one of the main differences between Kyle Trask and Tom Brady, Kyle Trask was taking too long to get rid of the ball. That's something that that's an adjustment that you got to make from college to the pros. Yeah. But the defensive line, they gave up 2 15-yard gains in a row. I mean, this was the number one, run stop defense in entire NFL, averaging, I think, like 70 yards a game. They gave up 30 yards in 2 plays. I mean, thank goodness for, David that came in there and stripped the football, to stop this. But, I think this game was a wake-up call to, to the world champion. You ride that high for a long time. And they needed to come in here and get punched in the face, and say, hey, no one's going to give you, anything this year. That's for sure.
Well, you heard Rondé say Todd Bowles wasn't, normally calling those types of plays. He would have been blitzing on 3rd down, putting pressure on the quarterback. There's a lot of things they didn't do that they normally would do. So I don't know if how you never can. You can never really take away too much from a preseason game. You can't place too much blame on anybody, and you shouldn't take away or give credit to anybody.
There, so a couple of bright spots that we can look at is Tanner Hudson had 4 catches for 48 yards, a tight end. He got good hands. He continues his, he shows out every preseason, and then when he gets put in there, he shows out.
He's like that running back we had a couple of years ago who we called him Mr. Preseason. Who was that?
Was it a running back or was
he was the guy from Florida? You guys all Ernest Graham.
Ernest Graham,
yes.
Slept in his car and all that.
Yeah.
August.
That was more than a few years ago. That was going way back.
And then someone we're not as familiar with is Jay Darden. I saw him make a really good catch. He was 2 for 19. Giovanni Bernard, we brought him in to be our 3rd down back and back that catches passes out of the backfield. He was 2 for 16.
Yeah, and he converted the only 1st down.
Yep.
With the first team. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And OJ Howard caught a pass. Hey.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up, OJ.
Hey, I tell you who I saw all over the field last night, and I don't know his name, but who's that redhead, long-haired dude? You couldn't even see his number. His hair's so long on the back of his jersey. Who is that guy?
Is that Jenkins?
Look like no. Look like the Irish Palomalo.
He played linebacker.
Yeah, he was playing middle linebacker in the 4th quarter, and he levels right here. He was
he was all over the place.
Yeah.
Him and my player of the game was oh gosh, his name is right here in front of me. I just can't read it in the paper. 34. He caught 1 pick and then gave it right back up.
Oh yeah, that was a sweet pick too. It was like one-handed.
Oh, where's it? It was right here. It was Hovan.
Yeah.
Javon Hagan.
Yeah,
is his name. He had that pick, plus he stripped a ball to make a fumble. And then, the kid had like a nose for the ball, but he just couldn't get out of his own way. So I don't know. Let's see if he can straighten that out in the rest of camp or not.
Hey, what did you guys think about?
There's a guy that we went to bat for, practically made it to the Secretary of Defense, talking about Kinley. And, they weren't going to let him play. We got him. We essentially, this group here got him.
Essentially the main event got that guy the exception.
Got him his playing time. And then the Bucs cut him. They cut him today.
They waived him today. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That was Kinley, right? What did you guys think of the other, draft picks that we picked up this season? Obviously, we saw Kyle Trask, our 2nd round pick. But what did you think about the secondary guy we picked up in the first round?
Oh, you mean Trayon, the defensive end?
Yeah.
He had a sack.
He looked lightning fast coming off the end, but I'm going to tell you, that guy's lean. For a defensive lineman, he's pretty lean, and I think he probably is listed as an outside linebacker. But
yes, he is. He is.
Did you see one of the plays he had was they pulled a stunt. And the stunt is when the tackle comes to the outside, and then the defensive end circles back around and comes in. And the hope is that the guard on the offensive lineman, the guard goes with the defensive end, and there's a hole there. Okay, well, the guard didn't go. He held his ground like a good offensive lineman should. But when Trayon got to him, it might as well have been me, because this guy, he bounced off of him. I mean, he put his shoulder in and he said, let's do it. But I mean, I don't know if that guy weighs more than maybe 200 pounds. He seems super fast, but super lean. So,
one of the things helping your perception of his leanness is the fact he wears number 9. So those single digits make him look real slight.
So when I buy a jersey, I should buy a single digit jersey?
Yes.
There we black too. I should wear a black
yes.
jersey. Okay, now we're
yes.
That's how I'm gonna roll.
By the way, Blaine Gabbert had the best quarterback rating of everyone. Even Tom Brady.
What was it? I don't think it was great.
71.
Well, I mean, Tom
71.8.
Tom only played 5. Tom only played
six plays. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was surprised to see the first team even run out there.
I was shocked.
Only three preseason games this year. That they've got to get in that game. But the first game of the year, game number 1, that's the easiest game to win, because there's about a 50% chance that the opponent that you're playing isn't quite ready. It's not polished. So, the team that practices hardest, is most prepared, they've got a really good chance, a better than average chance of winning that game number 1. And in a season with only 17 games, every win counts.
And here's one thing you've got to get done. You've got to get down is the quarterback center hike. That has to be, the timing of that is a lot more difficult than you think. I used to be a center. I wasn't a small center, but that timing, if you don't have it right, that pocket that he holds under there, if they don't feel that, know what spot it's in, you're talking about fumbles under the legs. And I've seen that in the NFL for sure. There was one that's still being pushed around from, I think, the Jets for years now, from one of those with old Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm excited about week 1 coming up in a couple of weeks. I said last week on the show, I can already taste the ribs at the Chiefs' house. It's about to be on.
I'm as superstitious as they come, right? So I was actually thinking about, opening day meal. Did I want to stick with the ribs? That was the opening day meal last year, and it was one of the Super Bowl, meats that we had. And I'm like, I feel like we can't change it, man. We need to stick with what works.
I know. And the Bucs lost the Saints in week 1 last year, so that's kind of
But they did win the Super Bowl, man. I mean,
I know.
I'll tell you what, this would be a great time if you're a fan to go back and watch our opening day vlog from last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You'll get a chance to see the Chiefs ribs, but you'll also get to see our reactions to Tom Brady's first snaps as a Buccaneer. It's funny. I watched that in the current that the Buccaneers have been producing. It was like a 6-week miniseries. And one of my favorite parts of it was watching some of that. Reminded me of some of the times that we spent together, watching the season. And that specific game 1 against the Saints, when the Bucs scored on that opening drive on the Tom Brady sneak.
Yes.
There's great video of that, by the way.
Oh man,
if you go back and watch our vlog.
I was like, championship.
Yeah. So Chief, we got to have ribs. If there's not ribs, I don't know if we'll invite you to weeks 2 through 18.
Well, hey, also good news for us on just as a matter of what do you want to call it here? Doesn't really matter. So Lisa will not be here. She'll be out of town. So I know it's a night game. It's a late game. So we're free to
Thursday.
It's a Thursday night game. So, but we're free to stay as light and be as loud as we like.
That's gonna throw off our mojo, man.
Some of you might want to take Friday off.
Already requested.
I think I've got Friday off.
All right. So other preseason action this week, we mentioned, listen, Jameis Winston and Taysum Hill are in a fight to be the next starting quarterback to replace Drew Brees in New Orleans. And both of those guys pretty much sucked last night.
Well, we could have said that. I mean, we had 6 seasons of Jameis sucking.
Well, he did lead the league in passing,
and he will do that. He will throw for a bunch of yards. Michael Thomas is going to have a great season. All the other receivers are going to have a great season. That'll be fine. He'll still probably throw 40 touchdowns and 40 picks.
Wow, that's pretty bold.
What was his last one? 30-30?
Well, I mean, first of all, you're assuming that he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Saints.
Well, yeah. I mean, are they going to go with the guy that can't throw and just runs?
He said the coach said that a couple of months ago. He said that the job is Taysom Hill's. I don't know if that was like some psychology to try to get Jason to ramp it. Not Jason, Jameson to ramp it up or not, or if he really meant it. It seems crazy that Jameis Winston, the upside is so good with that guy. It really is fantastic.
I want him to succeed. Actually,
I wanted him to succeed. Not anymore though. But I did want him to succeed while he was here. Just stop. Don't make those silly plays.
So they got some corrections to make because each quarterback, all 3 quarterbacks had an interception in that game. All 3 of them. Book had one, Winston had one, and Taysom Hill had one. The highest quarterback rating in that game was Jameis Winston at 77.1. Taysom Hill was 51.1. So,
well, you can kind of forgive Ian Book. It's his first game. He's a rookie out of Notre Dame.
Yeah,
and you can forgive Jameis because he's not. If he's breathing, he's throwing interceptions.
Right.
So that's 2 of them. I can't speak for Taysom Hill, but
who was Jameis playing? Who was playing with the first team?
Taysom, I believe. Yeah.
Taysom, yeah. Okay.
So Jameis likes to have that. I'm eating in his mouth. I'm eating W's. He's eating He's eating INTs. I don't know how you make that INT.
Go ahead. Sure. You go ahead and make that one on the internet.
Yeah, try that one.
You'll never forget.
Hey, another guy we're all looking at, seeing if he's going to make an NFL roster, is Tim Tebow. And we got our first look at Tim Tebow as a Jacksonville Jaguar last night.
Did we? I mean, was that a look?
He got a couple snaps.
Man, I watched the highlight reel highlight quote unquote on YouTube, and I think I saw him for 3 or 4 plays. I think Chief, you corrected and said there was actually 16 plays.
He was in for 16 plays. He had 1 target, but he was intercepted by his own guy. His own guy undercut the route and took the ball from him.
What I saw was he was two of the plays he missed blocks that he probably should have gotten or had. He's big enough. The guy's a mountain. My wife was watching with me.
He's been eating, dude. That guy's been eating.
Yeah, I saw the size too.
I could teach him a thing or two about putting on weight. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Somebody should hire me in the NFL to do that job.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we need to put some weight on these guys. Can you help us do it? Like, I got that. That's in my wheelhouse.
Oh, man.
Hey, I had a guy come to me years ago when I was, fitter, and he says, "Hey man," he goes, "Can you help me bulk up?" And I said, "Bro, you come to the right guy. I don't know the first thing about
bulk up guru right here, buddy.
You've come to the right guy to bulk up. Let's go."
Oh man.
All right. So any other standouts from last night? There was a number of games. We saw our first looks at a number of rookie quarterbacks drafted in the first round.
Saw Justin Fields running around for the Bears looking pretty good. And Trey Lance, I think on a second pass, he threw a
shot one.
90-something yards to the house. That was fantastic. So that's good. It's good to see this youth movement. We'll see what these guys have and inject some life into the NFL.
Cincinnati Bengals, historically a terrible team over the last, probably 10 years, they stayed with us is what I'm trying to say, so I don't think this is going to be a team I think they won maybe 3 games last year. I think they're going to do much better than that. I wouldn't want to pick against them on week 1 of the Survivor League.
No, especially with Burrow starting. Burrow didn't play a snap, and he's good.
Yeah.
Didn't even dress.
Yep. So Pooh Bear, what can you tell us? Chief brought it up. What can you tell us about the Survivor League? The Man Event Survivor League.
It is live and active and ready for folks to join. There's a link on Facebook. We'll have a link below this video in the description eventually, probably tomorrow. Obviously, during live, we can't do that. But yeah, join up. The winner gets a package of Man Event swag. You're going to be playing against the 4 of us plus the other friends of the show with Chef Hobby and hopefully Matty Ho. That was awful loud, TSG. Very distracting. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. So I don't know. You think
maybe we'll get a little money, a little advertising money.
Yeah, maybe.
Listen, TSG has the elusive Cherry Coke Zero, though.
Yes. Yeah.
That's hard to find.
Come to my house. Come over to my place, man. My crib. You got some Cherry Coke.
So, but that league is live. It's free to enter. Join with us. Play along. It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, it'll last a few weeks. It's treacherous, man. That first week is the danger. That's the trap game.
Yep.
Picking that first winner.
Yeah. All right.
See what you
got.
got.
I'll have to get signed up for that since apparently I didn't see it posted last week. But we'll get to it. All right. So moving on, Major League Baseball. Some pretty cool things happening this week in baseball. Let's start with the Rays. So this team still, like, their consistency bothers us, but they still have the best record in the American League, right? But
yes.
Here's the thing. We talk about consistency pretty much every week with this team. I don't understand. So far, in the month of August, this team is 8-5. They lose a game today in the bottom of the 9th. But this week, they also had a 12-0 loss and a 20-8 loss. How in the world does that happen to a team with the best record in the American League?
Bad starting pitching. It's one of the Walker game against the Red Sox. They lost 20-8. He came out and they didn't, Coach Cash did not remove him until it was too late, which, I think at that point he was like, hey, you made your bed, lie in it. But yeah, it's just, it was bad. So you can't get behind the mentality of the hitters, especially once that kind of a deficit gets on them. How much are they pushing? How much they're not relaxed anymore? Are they trying to make it happen? The whole mentality goes into it.
Dude, they scored 8 runs in that game. If you score 8 runs, you should win almost like 99% of the time.
Well, 7 of those were in the 9th inning.
7 of those were in the 9th inning, Chief. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, first of all, how do you let a team score 20 runs for the love of God? And then last night to give up 12. I mean, and then obviously Boston, we lost to them 20-8, but other than that, we dominated that series.
Yes.
And we needed to dominate that series. We talked about it last week. I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Well,
they should have dominated the Twins.
How about exactly. We played the Twins this weekend and we lost that series to a team under 500. We should have gone in there and taken them minimum 2 for 3, probably, for all 3. And
it's the Woonsocket Rocket.
Today. Yeah, we had to pull our starting pitcher today too. I mean, thank goodness he did what he did because I don't think it would have been as close as it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, Zunino's on a tear. That's some good news, right?
Yeah.
He's hit home runs in his last 4 starts. This guy's barely hitting 200. But how about the other highlight I liked of the team this week, other than taking 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox, was Kevin Kiermaier with the Little League home run.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
A lot of effort on that. That was great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I still don't know whether he was safe or not. Did anybody watch that replay?
Oh, slow motion, backwards and forwards, blah, blah, blah. But here's the deal. His time from home to home was like 15.1 seconds, and he didn't take off out of the box. He kind of gave it a half start, and then when he realized he had to go, he turned it on. He could have been there in under 14, I believe, which I think the next closest time this year I heard was over 17 and change. I mean, so you're
telling me he
it.
was 15 seconds from the box to home plate.
Yes.
I think it takes Pooh Bear 15 seconds to get to first.
First, it definitely takes me 15 seconds to get to first. Probably 20.
The crazy thing is, it's like I don't know if I can make it to second in 15 seconds, but you got to make the turn. You got to hit the bag. You got to change all your momentum. That's hard to do. And he's turn, go.
Seeing him round that. I see Chief rounding that first base, and he's hopping on that right leg, boom, trying to stop.
Listen, hey. So today, Gary Payne asks me if we want to resurrect.
Oh no!
The softball. And
wow.
I said, "Is there an over 45 league?"
Gary Payne's over 45, so yeah.
Well, I'm saying the three. Well, I guess I realized. By the way, do you guys realize that Patrick is older than me?
Yeah,
he is, but he looks considerably younger.
Well, I should tell you something.
Oh,
he probably doesn't eat as many double cheeseburgers as I do.
Right?
Hey, actually, I got my blood work back. You can't always judge a book by its cover. Lady said if I was in my 50s, I'd be on medicine right now. So
wow,
I'm turning over a new leaf, and
I can help you. I can help you with that.
I'm not eating bacon on Mondays. So
I'll see you at boot camp this week. All right. So this week we had the Chicago White Sox and the New York Yankees play in the Field of Dreams game. Now, I'm going to transparent. I did not get an opportunity to watch it. I did watch the replay of the walk-off, which was pretty cool. I also should mention that the Yankees are the only team in Major League Baseball to ever lose a game in Iowa.
Yep.
So they hold that distinct honor, which
hopefully
I'm glad.
Forever.
But what did you guys think about the Field of Dreams game?
I thought it was amazing. I loved every second of it, and I think it was baseball had a night, right? So there was nothing else happening that night. There was no ESPN's got there was no other, football's obviously hadn't really started up yet. Basketball is done, thankfully. Hockey hasn't started up yet. So it was baseball's night, and I think they kind of scheduled it to where there weren't too many other night games. It was a travel day for most people. So baseball center stage. It was pumped up. You had all the star power with Kevin Costner out there, Joe Buck and was it Smoltz were calling the game.
Smoltzy, yeah.
Just fantastic. I mean, it looked great. It sounded great. It was just a great night for baseball, and they should do more of that.
It was a fun game to watch. I thought, the buildup was almost as good as the game. By the way, high scoring game, home runs, everything that you look for in a baseball game. I thought that the walk in to the field from the corn, I was actually hoping for that. I was like, I hope they enter from the corn, and they did. So that was really cool. But I was thinking about this. I said, okay, if this is cool, people are buying into it. What other fictional events can we turn into like real events? Let's what else can we do? So for example, like I said, maybe we can get a football team to wear like the uniforms of the teams in the movie The Replacements. I think it was the Washington Sentinels. They were there
with Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Gene
the Aussie kicker and Gene Hackman was the coach. Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, so that's not really that would be, they're dressing up, play a real football game instead of throwback uniforms, they do them in fictional uniforms. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are any fictional events come to mind that we can recreate? Immediately
what came to mind for me was, two of the greatest baseball movies in all time, like we had about 6 weeks ago on this show. Field of Dreams obviously is number one for me and probably a lot of people. But The Sandlot is right there for people. Let's play a game on The Sandlot.
That's a good call.
Right?
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good call. I like what they're hockey does this every year where they play that outdoor game, which I think is really cool, So like they've played in some pretty cool places. I don't know. I think that's awesome. But I think there sports in general, there could be plenty of
and baseball needs
like
it.
That.
Baseball needs it right now. They're kind of in a lull where there's not a lot of influence, especially in this country. It's definitely much bigger in the Caribbean and other countries, but as far as youth movement. But right now, our youth movement for baseball is down, and I think this is the kind of thing that would help with that. You know, somebody made a really good argument on Twitter about, you know, each team taking a series against a rival and going to a remote location similar to what they did. Not why they didn't play all 3 games there, I don't know. I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. They just played the 1 game, then they moved to New York.
I don't think they had a place to put them. I mean, there's no real hotels in the area.
Yeah,
I saw Fox talking about it, and they were like every hotel within 100 miles was sold out at a high price. By the way,
That makes sense.
You know, so, hey, I thought of another one though just now.
What do you got?
Boom, Caddyshack. They should do like maybe not an entire tournament. Just like it has to be. You know how they do the deal with Tiger Woods and
Phil.
Yeah, Tiger
Brady
Phil.
and Mick.
Yes. So they do something like that. But they do it at the country club where Caddyshack was filmed.
Where they filmed Caddyshack.
Yes, and then like maybe one instead of getting it in the hole, there's like the gopher there or something.
You got to have a Rodney Dangerfield out there with the bag with all the tricks in it.
Yeah.
Well, then you might as well get Jimmy Chitwood.
Yeah,
you might as well get Jimmy Chitwood and go to Hickory and play an NBA game.
Wow.
I'm gonna
I lost the chief.
Caddyshack. You did. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm gonna look.
I got
Caddyshack had a.
That's from the movie Hoosiers.
Clubhouse still there.
You can walk everybody out there. You can measure the hoop, make sure it's 10 foot.
Yes. Yes.
I'm with you on that one, B-Love. No, I just think it's specifically for baseball. I don't think football is really having a hard time with it, but I think it's a good opportunity for them to take and go to these remote locations. One of the things I thought of too was doing something like Miami and the Rays, Tampa Bay and Miami, do an offsite rivalry weekend and in the Bahamas, right? You've got
Puerto Rico. Yeah.
You got Jazz Chisholm, who is a shortstop from the Bahamas playing for the Marlins. Pretty much everyone in the Bahamas that I've met is either, well, a lot of them are Yankee fans, but most of them are fans of the Florida teams. So it would instantly generate the buzz. So I just think it'd be great if they started doing things like that. Obviously, there's some incidentals to work out, like hotel stays and things like that. But it can be done. This is a 2021. We can do it.
Guys,
what do you got,
great
Chief?
news. I have great news. Do you know that the country club where Caddyshack was filmed is in Florida?
Oh,
it is here in Florida. It is in Davie, Florida, just outside of Miami.
Davie, yeah.
So we don't need.
This sounds like a man event.
Yes.
This sounds like a man event.
I'm telling you, we need to go out there. We need to film this thing. We can wear, the great golf outfits. Get out.
Is it a public course?
I don't think so.
That may be our block there.
It would be worth it to them to have us there.
Right.
Wouldn't it?
It's called marketing.
Hold on here, because
since this is a nationally recognized men's show,
I may have reciprocation at this course. We need to take a look at it here because it's
reciprocity.
Thank you. Whatever it is, it's an R word.
It's an R word.
All right, you're gonna do a little research on this, but it's there, man. It's.
I feel a man event shortcut.
Wait a minute now. This may spur a whole bunch of things. What if we started off some sort of a trek across the country, going to historical sites to do things like this?
I'm not going to Four Corners with you guys. I'm not seeing that. I'm not going to Four
Corners. The one over in Bartow?
No, not in Bartow. The one where Arizona, West? New Mexico. Yeah, where they all meet on the fort. You never seen that scene in American's Vacation? Is in the second one. They go. Never mind.
Okay.
Everybody they go out there.
It is. All right. So finishing up baseball for the week. You guys see this kid from the Diamondbacks, Gilbert, makes his very first career start and throws a no-no. Now, we've been talking throughout the baseball season that the no-no doesn't carry as much weight. I feel like every night this week, by the way, I've gotten an alert from ESPN that there's a no-no.
There was combined.
There's a watch.
Yep.
Right? But I don't know. Give me what your thoughts are. Here are some of mine real quick. I think that in the day and age of film, that the hitters catch up with the pitchers. And what happens is you bring in these young guys like this guy who nobody really has great film on, and these hitters don't know what to expect. Now, we as Rays fans have seen the Rays employ this late in a season, like bringing up guys in August or September to finish out the season for us because they're just blowing guys out of the water because nobody's ever seen them pitch before. But you put a season under them, and now all of a sudden they're hittable. What are y'all's thoughts?
Well, the greatest example of what you just explained to me was Hideki Nomo with the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. So he had, for those that aren't familiar, he was an Asian pitcher who had success in, I think, Japan before the Dodgers signed him. And his first season was just lights out, phenomenal.
He had that gyro ball.
He had that, but he also had a tick in his delivery. So when he came up over his head to stretch, he would have different amounts of pauses where he would pause for, maybe 1 second compared to the pitch previous. It was a half a second, right? So it would throw off the hitter's timing. And a lot of that was attributed to the fact that there was no tape on the guy. They couldn't do the research. But eventually there was tape on him, and after a season he was, wasn't that great. So, I don't know if that's exactly 100% accurate because these guys are filmed from low A and even in high school. Like there are people that their job is to record pitchers' outings. So there is tape of them out there. I think it's just a lack of, there's a mix of the umpires making calls. There's not consistency, so the players aren't used to that. And then just happenstance, you get a bad night. But it just seems to be happening a lot more, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to take a no away from a guy by any means, right? It's still an amazing feat. I just think they're becoming more prevalent, and for a rookie to come up and throw a no. Yeah. This guy's going to have a 12 ERA in 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah. So I kind of feel sorry for the guy because it's all downhill from here.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't get any better.
Well, it's like that catcher from the Chicago White Sox who his very first Major League Baseball game hit 3 home runs.
Yep. He's now retired.
He'll never have a night in Major League Baseball like that ever again.
He'll never have a day in Major League Baseball. He retired.
Well.
You're Min Mercedes. He retired about 3 weeks ago.
No. It wasn't him. It was another guy just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you're Min Mercedes.
No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else.
Okay.
From the Chicago White Sox.
All right, another catcher.
I would remember the Yerminator because we've talked about him throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
But it was another catcher from the White Sox who comes up in his first game. He hits 3 home runs.
Okay.
It was just a few weeks ago.
I'm on it.
All right. Mr. Google is all over it.
Crack research team.
All right. While the chief is digging into that, Pooh Bear, it's time for you to run the tape.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Every time.
So we got a couple stories this week on You Can't Fix Stupid. Who wants to go first?
Do the baseball one. That's perfect tie-in.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. So, by the way, Sebi Savala.
There you go. Thank you.
Sebi Savala. Okay, so this one, not from Florida and not on an airplane.
Yay!
How about it? So a guy decides to streak across he's got clothes on, so I don't know. Is he just a runner? He's not really a streaker at that
Just
point,
runner,
I guess.
Yep.
Just a runner. At the Dodgers game, goes running across the field. Security's chasing him. They can't catch him. He makes it all the way across the outfield, and the ball girl, I say again, the ball girl sweeps the leg, takes him out. She essentially tackles the guy. When she hits him, he goes up over the fence there and does a header into
somersault.
A somersault, yeah, and whatever's on the other side of it. So he avoids all the security, and then he gets embarrassed by the ball girl. So fantastic job by her, because she did not shy away from that hit. The guy coming at her full speed, took her on, took him out.
Who's more embarrassed, the ball girl or the security guys? Oh. I mean the guy that got tripped or the security guys?
Oh, that's a good question, TSG.
Ooh.
It's got to be the guy who got tripped because security guys were already behind from the get-go, right? So that the guy on the field, you're reacting to that now. So
she saved those guys though.
Well,
she saved him.
She did. I'm not going to take anything away from her.
Two things happened. You got knocked down by a however old this little girl. You guys got showed up and saved by this 10-year-old, 12-year-old girl.
No, I think she was closer to. She had to be closer to 16.
Yeah,
it reminds me of the Karate Kid. Sweep the leg.
That's why. Yeah, sweep the leg, man. She took him out the legs.
Yes, Sensei.
All right. So our next winner comes to us from Athens, Alabama, where
that's all you need to know.
Exactly. Well, again, not Florida, right?
Not Florida.
So a neighbor, a fellow named Doug Duran, sees someone climb into a water tower, 70-foot tall water tower, and it's a woman, and apparently wants to go swimming. So she's in the water tower swimming. Now this thing, I think it was a 1 million-gallon tank. I'm not sure how many.
70 feet. It was 70 feet of water. That's deep.
It is deep, but what? An inch deep is 70 foot deep. It's all the same. You could drown in any of it. Anyway, so she's swimming around. So he calls, police and firefighter. Firefighters had to pull her out of there. Again, probably a methamphetamines related incident. But the tank had to be drained, disinfected, and then you go into a boil water notice, and it's a.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did she pee in the tank?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
She was swimming. I thought that's a protocol. You go swimming.
Anytime.
That's not protocol.
That you pee in the pool?
Yeah.
No, my pool better not. You're not ever coming to my house again.
Just like come in the shower.
I've definitely peed in your pool, Pooh Bear.
Oh my God! What is wrong with you people?
I'm gonna bring a candy bar next time.
Listen, we have our kids
to play on Caddyshack.
I've got my son so well trained not to pee in the pool. Like he gets out and goes in like a little shower area. That when we took him to the beach, we tell him, he's gonna go pee. We're just like, just go pee in the water. So he goes and stands in the surf, pulls his pants down.
Oh man,
that's how well.
Captain Larson on full display.
Captain Larson on full display. I'm like, no, come back.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
anyway.
Hey, Pooh Bear, you got to put in that stuff from Adam Sandler's movie
Grown Ups,
where the pool turns purple or blue or whatever when you pee in there.
There's nothing like that. It doesn't exist. But anyway, so this tank had to be drained and taken down and disinfected. And that is absolutely 100% what you have to do anytime there's a breach of any sort. When my industry, I do this sort of thing. I have people that clean tanks and have done it myself. When they're drained, we go in and do the cleaning. When we come out, it still has to be disinfected. Even though we were in there not really doing anything, we disinfected our boots before we went in. It's just what happens. And there's a series of tests you have to pass over the next 24 hours before the government will say it's good, you can drink it again.
Man, I don't know. I'm going to go with the parts per million in all of that water versus some pee.
Probably.
That sounds like a waste of time and money.
Well, wait, you get somebody sick, and then what's it going to cost?
Pooh Bear, are you telling me that there's no filtration or cleaning at this point? After that, it's going straight to the people?
Yeah, this is finished water. So this tank and then the tanks I was just talking about, those are finished water tanks.
So finished water tank is open at the top where you can just go in and swim.
No, it should not be. This ladder probably should have been locked and somebody got past it somehow. Or
sounds like another man event short, if you ask me.
What, climbing the ladder?
I'm going swimming in it.
You don't know. You can be charged with terrorism, bro. This is not. You don't want to mess with this.
I was going to say we know the water's clean, but I don't want to be charged as a terrorist either. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm out.
All right, bad. Not a great idea. Not all our ideas are awesome.
No. Well, I mean, it was highlighted in the You Can't Fix Stupid. Speaking of You Can't Fix Stupid, right? So China comes out this week and declares themselves the winner of the Summer Olympics. Now, I don't know if you guys watched the final medal count, which is done by the official body of the Olympics. The U.S. won both numbers of gold and total medals. But China comes out and says, hey, we're going to count Taiwan's medals towards us and Hong Kong's medals towards us, and now we're the winners.
Wow.
The crazy thing about this is I don't know who they thought they were kidding, because I've read articles on this from around the world. Europe's talking about it. Australia's talking about it. I mean, and everybody is pretty much saying the same thing. They're like, no, that's not how it works. It's just not how it works. I mean, if we could claim, if we wanted to do it, we could claim Guam. We could claim, I'm not sure we can claim Canada.
Yes, we can. What are they going to do about it?
We can claim territory. What are they going to do? I don't think we can claim Canada.
Here's the thing, though. It's the Summer Olympics, so it really wouldn't
Puerto
count
Rico.
for much.
Okay, so we could get Puerto Rico. We could have claimed the Virgin Islands. I'm not
Liberia.
even sure how much they were going to add.
Liberia. We started that country.
Is it a territory still?
No, it's not territory, but we started the country.
We're just going to claim it. Okay, well,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I mean, where is Liberia at?
It's in the west coast of Africa.
All right, we'll just claim whatever we want, I guess. I mean, if China can do it, we can. I mean, China's just creating land. Okay, I hear you. So we'll just do whatever we want.
Here's my thing about this: is they just make themselves look dumber. Like I understand you're trying to make yourselves look dominant, but in the effort of doing that, you actually make yourself look stupider.
Yes, but when you control the information in your own country, so they control the internet. So what the Chinese people are waking up to read right now is that they won they won the Olympics. They beat the United States.
Did you say stupider?
Stupider.
I didn't say stupider. Who said stupider?
Below.
Okay, I don't use words like that.
Hey, do you think that we can get the main event in China? Well, they're not going to understand us. That's going to be another job. Anyway, but it's not what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. They do control everything over there, and you're exactly right, Pooh Bear. They're waking up today, and they're like, "Hey, we won the Olympics. Way to go, guys!"
National pride. Woo.
Exactly. We're the greatest.
This reminds me of Kim Jong-un, who shot 18 on every golf course he ever played, and killed a bear with his own hands. Because that's what the papers read in North Korea.
Didn't Javi do that too?
Well, yeah,
Shot, not killed the bear, but shot 18 on it.
Yeah, he shot 18. Yeah.
Javi.
Listen, check this out. I played in a golf scramble this week, and there was something I've never seen before in this golf scramble.
Apples on the 18th and first hole.
We come to a par 3, and there's a woman there who is a professional golfer.
Mm-hmm.
And the deal is you can pay her to hit for you.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. If you pay her a certain amount, it could be a him or a her, but in this case, it was a woman. And if you paid a certain amount, you get to take a 0 on the hole, and you still get to play the hole. She hit a ball, and if you hit inside of hers, you doubled whatever you bought, like raffle tickets or more mulligans or something like that.
Yeah,
you guys ever seen anything like that before?
Yeah, you were in a tournament, like a charity tournament. Yeah, I've had that. I've seen that twice actually in same tournament but in different years.
I have not seen it.
Just for the record, I hit inside her ball.
Oh,
well, there you go.
But did you pay first?
But here's the truth: we made her hit left-handed.
Oh wow!
We had a guy in our foursome who was a lefty, and he says, "Well, we're in, but will you hit my club?" And she goes, "Certainly, I'll hit your club." By the way, she's not a lefty, but as a pro, she carries lefty clubs in her bags.
Yeah,
in case there's a difficult lie that she has to hit lefty, and her lefty swing was pretty good.
Probably better than everybody else's righty
pretty
swing.
Good. It was like she steps up to the tee, and we're all like,
"We're in trouble. We're in trouble."
You thought you had pulled one over on her, and then you were like,
"Nope." Right?
Yeah, it's pro for a reason.
It's a fun way to raise money for your charity or whatever, and usually you put them on the back 9 so that your patrons are a little lubricated, and by the time they get there, the money's flowing, and there's whatever. Go ahead, you pay and hit my shot for me, or like you said, they do a little competition. Yeah, I've seen that before. That's fun. Makes the round fun.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. All right, so kind of rounding things out, we only got a couple of minutes here left. Kind of just a special interest story or a global story, but we're seeing this week, like we were talking earlier, it's like the world is becoming a Jack Ryan movie or show, which I love Jack Ryan, by the way, on Amazon. If you haven't watched 2 seasons of it, go watch it. But a couple of weeks ago, we see the president of Haiti get assassinated. Okay. We talked about it here on the show. This week, after the U.S. pulls out of Afghanistan, we now see the Taliban making a rush on Kabul. In fact, today, the president of Afghanistan has fled the country.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What are y'all's thoughts?
Okay, so let's just unpack this from just a few years ago, okay? Don't forget, we got to remember a couple things, okay? Number one, there was a little-known terrorist in 1993 named Osama bin Laden, okay? He attacked the World Trade Centers in 93, set off a car bomb underneath them. It did some damage, didn't bring the towers down, and he was hiding in Afghanistan, protected by Al-Qaeda, okay? 2001, we all know what happens. He attacks them again. Trade centers come down. He's still protected by Al-Qaeda. United States comes in. We run Al-Qaeda out, and Al-Qaeda kind of does a transformation. Al-Qaeda turns into what is now the Taliban. They were kind of opposing forces at one time, and then the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's kind of what happened there. Now the Taliban is sitting in there. They're extremist Islamists. They are not our friends. They have proven over and over again, that they are A-OK running terror groups and coming at the United States. The fact that we spent 20 years over there, we've lost 2,100 servicemen. We've had over 20,000 men and women wounded over there, and those are just U.S. injuries. Don't forget, there's the rest of the world that's in on this with us. Okay?
Yeah.
And another thing that people kind of forget about, okay, and this is important because Afghanistan sits between Iran and Pakistan. Pakistan, for better or for worse, is our ally. They're also a nuclear power. Iran, definitely not our ally, aspiring nuclear power.
Yep.
And now you've got a free door to Pakistan straight through Afghanistan. That's a bad deal. That's a really bad deal for us. Petraeus, former commander in Afghanistan, became the head of the CIA, said just the other day, he's like, it is catastrophic for the Taliban to take over Afghanistan. Joe Biden's like, oh, it's not going to happen. Blah, blah. He was dead wrong. Hope that kid's not going to pee right there, man. He comes out.
I told him to go and he goes back.
I hope he's not going to pee. But dude, this is not only is it a failure of not the military, it's a failure of the administration, and it's a failure, honestly, of 4 administrations because early on the Taliban or Al-Qaeda at the time, Al-Qaeda was almost destroyed, and then there were some change. It's the same every time. You start having some success, and more people went in on it. Okay, and then the war started dragging out. And that winds us where we are today. We didn't go in there to beat them. We went in there with some other attitude of we're going to train these guys to do it. And these guys are like, well, if the Americans are here, we're going to let them do our dirty work for us. The next thing you know, we leave. Taliban's taking over. Where we go from here is probably not good. So at a minimum, new terror groups are going to pop up in there. For sure, the people of Afghanistan are going to be in for some really bad times because these are people that are enslaving women and children. They're abusing their own people. It is not good days for Afghanistan. And in the event that they were to get a hold of a nuclear weapon, which could come from either just easy next door from Iran or get one from Pakistan, with some sort of military action in there, man, I think they would use that against us in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. They would not hesitate to use it. They would have a delivery problem, but this is a mistake from a lot of people from a long time. And if we have a chance to fix it now, we need to do it.
And here's the problem is that many of these kids are now exposed for these Al-Qaeda to come in, and they don't have a choice, and they become new terrorists. They're no longer protected, and now the terrorist organization multiplies because they now have recruits that they're open to that used to be protected. These families are upset, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think, Chief, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not one administration's error. It's
many,
all of them over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
The U.S. has had a presence there for the last 20 years. Shoot, you can go back to during the Cold War, the U.S. had a covert presence there.
Sure we did.
With the Afghans versus the Soviets. But I just, at the end of the day, you spend 20 years there at the cost of, listen, forget the financial cost of it. You just hit the nail on the head. The lives of servicemen and women, the injuries that they brought home, and you basically just said to them, it was all in vain because we just gave it back anyway.
Yeah,
Chief said it. We did not fight this war to win, and with the rules of engagement that were handed to our men and women in the services, they were not allowed to dominate. And that's what needs to happen to these roaches of people that call themselves the Taliban. They need to be eliminated.
Pooh Bear called them roaches.
They are.
No, they are, dude. That's a great example. They scurry around. Word. Yeah, you're right.
And they hide. They hid in the mountains until we left, and they came running right back out. Most, I think, military minds told us that. They knew this is what was happening. That they were not fighting the true enemy. They were fighting the fractionalized, marginalized enemy that called themselves the Taliban. Now they've hidden the mountains of Pakistan and all the other places in Afghanistan. Now we have left. They can safe to resume and take over the capitals just like they've done. Now we're going to send more people in to try and defend our embassy and get those folks out and risk the lives of 3,000 more people and the lives of the embassy members to get them out. So there's no.
Imagine being the embassy guy when the U.S. pulls out. Imagine being that guy or that girl.
They've probably been told for the past 5 or 6 years that, hey, the Afghani staff is great. They have been trained up by the best of the best, which I have no doubt they were. But I'm sure as soon as the head poobah of the Taliban came in there with a truckload of cash and said, hello, my friend, thank you for participating in the Afghan military. Here's a bag of cash. Go feed your family and your goat and have a nice life. And he just walked off, guaranteed.
As soon as Taliban started attacking, having any success, how were the embassy folks not already extracted immediately?
Because we have no one in the area. We have no personnel in the area.
Well, we have in Italy. There's an entire division in Italy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people in Italy, Germany. Yeah. I'm sure we've got bases in there, but I mean, there's nobody like entrenched there.
You correct, yeah.
And there really wasn't any attacking. They were just walking in. There are very few shots fired in any of these capital takeovers. Just walking in, raise a black flag. It's ours now. Thanks. Have a nice day.
So, 93 happened. Okay. 93 happened. 2001 is a repeat. Okay. So that's a mistake. It happens third time. That's a crime. And not just for the people that do it, for the people that allowed it to happen. So.
Yep. Yeah. Like we said, like it's like a Jack Ryan movie unfolding, right under our eyes, type of stuff that you'd see come out of Hollywood. So
listen, if you like Jack Ryan movies, you should check out the Tom Clancy books. They're pretty good.
Do they have those on audio?
Tom Clancy is the author of the Jack Ryan series, and all the movies have spurned from that. Yada yada. I know I'm just talking to a dead audience here.
No, I understand where they came from. I understand I watched the credits on the Jack Ryan series on Amazon Prime.
All right, on Amazon Prime. There's more of that. It's Hunt for Red October and.
Oh yes, I love the Hunt for Red October.
All right,
give me one ping only.
Wow.
You American buckaroos. All right. Pooh Bear, that's all we got, man.
That's it. This train wreck of a show is over. We pulled it into the station.
Train wreck. That was a great show.
Leaking oil and blowing smoke everywhere.
Sounds like the Chiefs boat.
Man. Wow.
True. Funny because it's true. Holy smokes.
Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. All right, folks. Don't forget, sign up for the Survival Fantasy Football League. You could win a whole care package of main event swag if you beat. Well, let's face it, me, because I'm going to be your toughest competition in the league right now. Oh
my gosh, here we go with this guy.
I'm just putting it out there. Make sure to like this episode and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future episodes. And we will be back again this time next week, 7 o'clock on Sunday, to do it all again because we love it so much. We're still praying for Dawn. Don't forget about her. We love you, Maddie. We love you, Noah. And we will see you next time. Say good night, Chief.